A wedding was taking place in Cana of Galilee, and Jesus, his mother Mary, and his disciples were invited to celebrate. The town buzzed with excitement as friends and families gathered to witness the joyous union. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the aroma of a feast. It was an ordinary celebration of love, yet it was about to become extraordinary through the presence of the Son of God. Everyone sensed that something remarkable was happening, though they did not yet know what it was. As the festivities continued, an unexpected problem arose. The wine ran out. In that culture, running out of wine was a serious embarrassment for the host family and could ruin the celebration. Mary noticed the concern and quietly brought the situation to Jesus' attention. Her faith in her son's power was unwavering. She believed that he could transform the moment, even though his public miracles had not yet begun. Jesus responded to Mary, saying, "Woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." At first, his words seemed hesitant, yet they carried divine intention. Mary's faith did not falter, and she simply turned to the servants and said, "Do whatever he tells you." Her obedience and trust in Jesus became the key that unlocked the miracle. Sometimes faith requires patience and quiet confidence rather than immediate answers. Jesus then instructed the servants to fill 6 large stone jars with water, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. The servants obeyed, pouring water into the jars until they were filled to the brim. The act may have seemed mundane, a simple task to prepare containers of water, yet every step was infused with divine purpose. God often works through ordinary acts performed in faith and obedience. Every action counts when guided by Him. After the jars were filled, Jesus said, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." As the servants carried the water, it had been transformed into wine, rich, flavorful, and of the highest quality. The master of the banquet tasted it and was astonished at its excellence. No one expected such a blessing, and yet Jesus had elevated the ordinary to the extraordinary. This was his first public miracle, marking the beginning of his ministry. The master of the banquet, unaware of how the miracle had occurred, called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine after the guests have had too much. But you have saved the best till now." This subtle yet profound transformation demonstrated God's generosity. Jesus cared not only for crises, but also for joy, celebration, and communal happiness. Ordinary moments were made extraordinary because He was present. This miracle was iconic because it revealed Jesus' compassion for everyday life. He stepped into a joyful moment, showing that God delights in the celebrations of His people. The faith of Mary, the obedience of the servants, and Jesus' divine power combined to create a scene of quiet but undeniable glory. Even a simple wedding feast became a stage for heaven's intervention. The miracle demonstrated that God values happiness, community, and shared joy. Mary's words, "Do whatever He tells you," offer a timeless lesson for believers. Faith often requires trust without knowing the details of God's plan. Obedience, even in small actions, becomes the channel through which miracles flow. Mary's confidence in Jesus exemplifies the power of intercession and trust in His timing. True faith opens the door for divine work in both extraordinary and ordinary circumstances. The servants' obedience highlights the importance of humility and willing hearts. They carried out simple instructions without questioning or hesitation. Their compliance became the vehicle for God's glory to manifest. Ordinary acts, when performed in faith, can carry divine impact. The miracle teaches that God uses willing hands to perform extraordinary deeds. Jesus' statement, "My hour has not yet come," reveals the perfect timing of God's actions. Though He could have acted instantly, He waited for the precise moment to reveal His glory. Faith requires patience, understanding that God's timing surpasses human expectations. Miracles often occur in subtle ways, teaching us to trust even when the solution is not immediate. Divine timing ensures maximum impact and lasting transformation. The miracle also symbolizes God's abundance and generosity. He did not give ordinary wine. He provided the best, saving the finest for the final moment. This reflects His heart to bless beyond what we anticipate. God delights in giving His best to those who trust Him. Joy and celebration are enhanced when his presence transforms ordinary life into extraordinary experience. Cana demonstrates that Jesus cares about people's holistic life. He does not intervene only in emergencies or crises. He values everyday joy and celebration. Faith in him enriches life in all its dimensions, blending divine power with ordinary human experiences. Even simple acts like weddings or family gatherings can become sacred spaces when Jesus is present. God's love touches both the mundane and the miraculous. The subtle nature of the miracle contrasts with the dramatic signs often expected from God. Instead of a loud spectacle, Jesus quietly transformed water into the best wine, demonstrating that his work is both humble and profound. Miracles do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they appear gently, yet their impact is deep and undeniable. Faith opens eyes to see divine power in subtle ways. The story emphasizes the role of community and faith. The wedding involved families, friends, and servants, all playing a part in the unfolding miracle. God works not only through individuals, but also through relationships and collective trust. Shared faith can multiply blessings. Intercession, obedience, and love combine to manifest heaven's glory on earth. This event marked the beginning of Jesus' public ministry, revealing his identity as the Son of God. Witnesses began to recognize his power and authority. Word of the miracle spread, inspiring faith in many hearts. Even small, understated miracles can establish the foundation for a ministry of hope and transformation. The transformation at Cana became a testimony to his divine glory. Cana teaches that faith requires action. Mary's intercession, the servant's obedience, and Jesus' command together created the miracle. Faith alone is incomplete without action, and action without faith lacks power. God invites us to partner with him, performing ordinary acts with extraordinary trust. Miracles often emerge from the alignment of faith, obedience, and divine authority. Even the smallest miracles carry profound lessons. Transforming water into wine illustrates that God notices the little things in life. Celebration, joy, and everyday needs matter to him. We are reminded to invite Jesus into ordinary moments. Faith and obedience can reveal divine glory in ways that surprise and inspire. The story of Cana emphasizes the importance of intercession and trust. Mary noticed a need and believed her son could fulfill it. She guided others to faith and obedience, opening the door for the miraculous. Sometimes the prayers and faith of others become the channel through which God acts. Miracles are often collaborative acts of love and trust. Cana also reveals God's delight in blessing his people abundantly. He provides generously beyond human expectation. Faith, trust, and obedience align to receive his best. Ordinary resources become extraordinary when God is involved. The miracle demonstrates that God's power can elevate everyday life into a moment of divine wonder. Finally, this story teaches believers to invite Jesus into all aspects of life. From celebrations to daily routines, faith and obedience bring his glory into the ordinary. God values joy, community, and relational moments. Miracles can appear subtly, yet their impact is eternal. At Cana, water became wine, and the ordinary transformed into extraordinary through Christ. If you are inspired by this video, hit like, share, and subscribe to your channel to support us.